planets dance at twilight, and the return of the false dawn.
Welcome, stargazers. I'm Marlene Hidalgo.
And I'm James Alberry.
And I'm Dean Regas. We're here to make sure you know what you're looking at when you look up.
As fall begins, we notice that the dark of night is arriving earlier each day. Those long twilight evenings of summer are disappearing fast.
And if you'll pay close attention to where the sun sets each night next week, you'll see that the sun sets a little farther to the south each evening.
That's right, Dean. So, pick out a landmark near where the sun sets and notice exactly where the sun sets each night next week. Stand in the exact same spot and notice exactly where the sun sets on the horizon. Write it down.
And time it. If you do, you'll see that the sun not only sets earlier each evening, but it also sets a little bit farther south each evening. And by sunset, we mean the time when the last bit of the sun's upper edge disappears.
And then after sunset, look off to the left of where the sun went down and see if you can spot Mars, Saturn, and Mercury. They'll be quite low, and it's not certain you'll see them, but give it a try. Saturn will get closer to the sun each night and will soon disappear and then reappear in the early morning sky of early November.
Mars and Mercury, on the other hand, are getting farther from the sun each night, but not much higher, because the ecliptic is at a very shallow angle to the horizon, so they're moving off sideways toward the south. Then take a look at the east around 9:30 and you'll see Jupiter rising and taking over the evening planet business for the rest of this year.
Make a note on your calendar to look into the southwest after sunset on the evening of October 17, when you'll spot a 3-day-old crescent moon between Mars and Mercury. The next night, the 18th, the moon will be a bit further and on the left side of Mars. Now let's switch to the pre-dawn sky facing east, and brilliant Venus is sure to catch your eye.
About 6 degrees above Venus is Regulus, the heart star of Leo the Lion. Notice how far apart they are on Monday the 8th, because every day next week, Venus will drop another degree or so farther below Regulus. That's about 2 full moon widths farther apart each day. Here's the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th.
On the 11th, you'll see a crescent moon about 15 degrees above Venus. Venus keeps moving each day, but the moon moves much faster. On the 12th, the moon will have caught up with Venus, and on the 13th, will have moved well past it. Then, on the morning of the 14th, get up and get out about 2 hours before sunrise and carefully look at the area above and below Venus. If you have good, clear, and dark skies, the 2 weeks after October 14th should be a great time to see the false dawn of Omar Khayyam.
We discussed what creates this false dawn, the zodiacal light, a few weeks ago. It's reflected sunlight from a layer of dust in the ecliptic, the plane of the planets. And the ecliptic is very nearly vertical the next 2 weeks. And those 2 weeks after the new moon on October 15th will be a great time to try to find the zodiacal light. Remember that you must have a very dark sky, free of city lights, to see it. But this false dawn is well worth the effort it takes to see it.
So let's recap. As fall comes on, the sun will set earlier and earlier each night as the days get shorter and shorter and the nights longer. Plus, the sun will set farther and farther to the south each night. And you can see this all for yourself if you observe carefully. Plus, you can spot Mars, Saturn, and Mercury in the evening sky, but not for long.
While in the morning sky, a crescent moon will pass by Venus on the 11th, the 12th, and the 13th. And for the next few weeks, the false dawn of Omar Khayyam, the zodiacal light, can be seen in the east about 2 hours before dawn in a dark rural sky.
So all 5 planets and a lot of dust give you a good reason to
keep looking up.